Is it too late for an Egg McMuffin?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 presidential impressions on SNL.
Gina.
And when you make Barack Obama angry, he turns into The Rock Obama.
Your leader, the godless liar Saddam Hussein, is nothing more than a hyena.
For this list, we're looking at the most well-rounded and memorable impersonations of United States presidents to be featured on Saturday Night Live. Which POTUS imitation gets your vote? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Phil Hartman as Ronald Reagan. While Ronald Reagan has been portrayed by upwards of 6 cast members and celebrity hosts over the years, it's without question Phil Hartman's take on the actor-turned-politician that's remembered most fondly.
Oh, there's the Washington Monument. Now here on this very field is where the saucer from the day the Earth stood still landed.
For one, Hartman was a master impressionist, effortlessly able to tap into Reagan's unique mannerisms. What may be most notable about his time in the role, however, was his duplicitous portrayal of the president.
Well, I hope I've answered your questions as best I could, given the very little that I know. Goodbye, and God bless you.
In one instance, he was charmingly cordial, only to suddenly switch to cunningly domineering.
The red countries are the countries we sell arms to. The green countries are the countries where we wash our money. The blue countries are the...
Excuse me, Mr. President, sir?
Yes?
It's your 11:30 photo opportunity, the little girl who sold the most Girl Scout cookies.
Damn!
But no matter which temperament he was exhibiting, the results were always hilarious.
We'll dose Muskie with mood-altering drugs. By the time Muskie knows what day it is, the '88 elections will be over.
Number 9. Dan Aykroyd as Richard Nixon.
Good evening. Some of you may know me, some of you may not.
No stranger to providing impressions during his time on SNL, one of Dan Aykroyd's most infamous undertakings was that of Richard Nixon.
Now, when I was president, I did some bad things. Made people hate me. I left that executive office under scandalous circumstances.
And while the future Ghostbuster would only portray the embattled leader a handful of times, including a parody of the notorious Frost-Nixon interviews, it was his overstated performance that's rather significant.
And the right one, you turned it on and cold water had come out.
You see, Aykroyd's slight exaggerations and embellishments no doubt helped influence the show's future treatment of sitting presidents, allowing for more loose representations rather than on-the-nose mimicking.
Were you, in fact, behind the Watergate?
Well, Johnny, to be perfectly honest and frank with you, and I'm most grateful for the money.
And while old Tricky Dick would be Aykroyd's first foray in depicting a commander-in-chief, it certainly would not be his last.
Do you think I'm a crook? Take it out on the book.
Number 8. Chevy Chase as Gerald Ford.
I can name that tune in 4 notes.
When it comes to providing a spot-on POTUS impression, Chevy Chase's Gerald Ford leaves a lot to be desired. However, when measuring its overall impact on popular culture, this portrayal is off the charts.
Give her some water, Governor.
I'd like some water, thank you.
Certainly.
Choosing to depict Ford as a bumbling klutz, Chase would actually go on to shape the president's public image.
On that point, Mr. Krause, Mr. Krause.
This despite the fact that number 38 was not a clumsy buffoon at all, but rather a capable athlete.
5, 4,
My fellow Americans,
3, 2.
Merry Christmas to all of you and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ford didn't seem to mind the oaf-like representation, though, as he would even make a cameo on the program.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Well, we suppose there are worse things than being seen as a pratfall president.
Ford popularity is certainly on a sharp rise here.
Number 7. Dan Aykroyd as Jimmy Carter.
The ceiling is dripping, and,
Well, thank you very much for calling, sir. Please.
No, just a minute, Walter. This guy's in trouble. I think I better try to talk him down. Peter?
Like Chevy's take on Ford, the admiration for Dan Aykroyd's Jimmy Carter was certainly a crucial part in building SNL's ensuing political satire dominance.
I do have a suggestion. You know the caliper post on the first grid sliding armature?
Yes.
Okay, there's a 3-digit setting there where the post and the armature meet. Now, when the system was installed, the angle of cross slide was put at a maximum setting of 1.
But during these formative years, politics seemed to veer far from Saturday Night Live's comedic priorities, making Carter a bit of a throwaway character.
You know, in a way I feel it's my fault you had to resign because I set standards that were impossible to live with. Even for someone who's just the slightest bit corrupt.
But even with authenticity far from a necessity, Aykroyd gave it his best shot, making for some rather favorable moments.
Now, I don't believe that Mr. Ford would purposely kill 50 million people. But his lack of leadership may lead to a total fiery, demonic holocaust.
Sure, the hair and makeup are a far cry from future portrayals, but like his faux Southern accent, Aykroyd's presidential charm was cranked to the max.
Everything's okay, huh, Jimmy? It sure is, Peter. You know I'm against drug use myself, but I'm not going to lay that on you right now. Just mellow out the best you can, okay?
Number 6, Jay Pharoah as Barack Obama.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
If it's an uncannily accurate presidential impression you're looking for, well, you need not search any further than Jay Pharoah's run as President Barack Obama.
Mr. President, you seem very energized.
Bounce with me. Come on, bounce with me a little bit. Come on.
Following Fred Armisen's exit from the show, Pharoah took over the role and flexed his impersonation muscles in the process.
I am psyched for Obamacare.
There you go. I love that enthusiasm.
Everything from the tone of Obama's voice to the cadence in which he speaks is nothing short of pitch perfect.
Governor, I admire your tenacity. You got 48% of the vote, even though watching you run for president was like watching someone on roller skates try to climb stairs.
Unfortunately, the downfall of Jay's on-point performance was that there really wasn't a whole lot of material to work with, at least compared to Barack's Oval Office successor. You know, that Trump fellow.
Here's a young man from New Mexico with a heartbreaking story about health care before the Affordable Care Act. So, Jesse, can you come up here?
Number 5, Will Ferrell as George W. Bush. When it comes to sheer laughs, there's perhaps no presidential impression that can top Will Ferrell's interpretation of George W. Bush.
People look up to you to make their lives better, and you really got to be in a position to help.
Cool. Really cool.
It didn't take audiences long to fall for Ferrell's version of W either, as the affable actor gave the president quite the lovable characterization, even amidst the turmoil following 9/11.
Let me make something very clear. There was utterly no legal or military justification for this strike.
Mixing an inept nincompoop with a well-meaning everyman, the comedian's depiction would actually go on to transcend the late-night show. This included Ferrell taking his impression to Broadway for a successful send-off to Bush's time in office. But no matter what stage he was on, you could always count on him to bring the funny.
Do you think I could be president someday?
Well, you never know. Maybe one day you'll sit here and you'll say, "In vivo desde Nueva York, es sábado en la noche."
Number 4, Darrell Hammond as Bill Clinton. Undoubtedly one of SNL's best impressionists, Darrell Hammond has nailed just about everybody he's been tasked with mimicking. This, of course, includes his spot-on rendering of Bill Clinton.
I know half of you didn't vote, but of the half that did, almost half voted for me.
Here, the funny man was not only able to charm the viewing audience, but also simultaneously creep them out with his tongue-in-cheek performance.
News is still severe storms blowing down in the Gulf region, pretty much like Monica was blowing the press.
Coming at a time when Bill was knee-deep in a certain not-safe-for-work scandal, Hammond went all in with his depiction, coating it with extra sleaze for good measure.
So what are you doing?
Well, I got Saddam on the other line. Looks like there ain't gonna be a war.
Well, that bites.
Totally.
His trademark thumbs up and lip bite only underscored the naughtiness of it all.
Have you been drinking, Bill?
No. Well, yes.
Number 3, Alec Baldwin as Donald Trump.
Thank you very much, everybody. I'm here to declare a very urgent, important national emergency.
SNL's skewering of Donald Trump took place long before the business magnate ascended to the highest office in the land.
I just had a great health exam. I'm still standing 6'7", 185 pounds, shredded.
And while the Donald has been expertly played by the likes of Phil Hartman and Darrell Hammond over the decades,
say cheese, burger, pizza, only from Dominios.
It's Alec Baldwin who's now become synonymous with the 45th President of the United States.
My microphone is broken. She broke it with Obama. She and Obama stole my microphone. They took it to Kenya.
And for good reason, as Baldwin all but transforms into Trump in the role, complete with his characteristic puckered facial expressions.
I mean, this man is clearly unfit to be commander-in-chief.
Wrong.
He is a bully.
Shut up.
He started the birther movement.
You did.
But much like every political prognosticator of the time, Alec assumed the gig would end when Donald lost the presidency. And while he was of course very wrong, we were very lucky to have him in the part.
Come on, doll, I'm learning. Let's not forget, technically, this is my first real job, okay?
Number 2, Phil Hartman as Bill Clinton. When Phil Hartman took on the role of President Bill Clinton in 1992, the Lewinsky scandal was years away.
Don't tell Mrs. Clinton. Jim, let me tell you something. There's going to be a whole bunch of things we don't tell Mrs. Clinton.
And with the saxophone-playing commander-in-chief largely viewed as a fun-loving, cool dude by the general public, that is exactly how Hartman elected to portray him.
We cannot pay for everything. For example, cooties are covered, but not the heebie-jeebies.
The long-standing comedian gave Bill an amiable yet mischievous good old boy persona, one that audiences ate up at every turn.
Well, she certainly is beautiful enough to be a princess. Say, you gonna finish these fries?
Whether he was stopping for fast food during a jog or watching the big game, Phil Hartman made it so that many Americans actually wanted to grab a cold one with their sitting president.
Breast augmentation? Covered. Breast reduction? Not covered.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Will Forte as George W. Bush, a slightly more childish take that worked well alongside Darrell Hammond's Dick Cheney.
If you shoot another friend, will you keep it a secret? Dick?
No, I will not keep it a secret.
Fred Armisen as Barack Obama. This first attempt at Obama on the show made for a fun, wannabe cool guy portrayal.
I take my kids to school, I don't lose my temper, it's my only rule, I keep it cool.
Jason Sudeikis as George W. Bush. While some prefer his Joe Biden, this still hit all the necessary beats.
Approving this bill was the right thing to do, and I commend our legislators for their actions. Speaker Pelosi.
Jim Carrey as Joe Biden. Classic Carrey energy, even if it was too much Jim and not enough Joe. Robin Williams as Ronald Reagan. As with most of his impressions, this too hit all the right comedic tones.
Well, that's my cue, boys. Yep, you say Iran, I say Iraq. Let's call the whole thing a deal.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Dana Carvey as George H.W. Bush.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the Iraqi government.
When Dana Carvey gave us the delightful dork that was his George Bush Sr. impression, SNL audiences were treated to one of the greatest characters in the show's history.
America's no sheep ready to be seized by a hyena. Rather, it's a great scorpion, which deals a deadly sting to those who would crush it. Stinging, stinging, stinging.
Ever the brilliant impersonator, Carrey took attributes of the real president and amplified them tenfold for comedic effect.
We are on the track. We're getting the job done. We can do more, but let's stay the course. 1,000 points of light.
Be it his manner of speaking, silly catchphrases, or exaggerated hand movements.
America, both a scorpion and a cobra.
The portrayal was met with large fanfare. In fact, one of those fans was Bush himself. At least that would explain why he invited the seasoned cast member to perform at a White House Christmas party.
The way to do the president is to start out with Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Then you add a little John Wayne. Here we go. Let's go over the ridge. You put them together. You got George Herbert Walker Bush.
What can we say? Carvey's impression is a true gift.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.